Saturday morning. It did indeed rain last night. Rained quite a lot actually. Pretty heavy at times. A little lightning but not much wind. It was actually windier during the day. It calmed down during the storm. Probably looks a little brighter than it is in the camera. It's something like 7:30 in the morning right now. There is a little structure of the clouds there. It is sort of moving away, but the wind is from a completely different direction now. See, the bay is calm. This bay is calm, but the waves over on this side. The tent and the tarp survived pretty well last night. There were pockets of water formed in these downside corners, and it does that sometimes. It starts getting wet, and then it settles. Seal nylon has that terrible property that when it gets wet, it stretches, and so then it sags, and so the tent sagged a little bit, and the tarp sagged a little bit. Tarp was drooped way down, and those puddles of water keep pulling it down, and more water gets added and it stretches more. Just the way, vicious cycle. Ropes are tied to trees. You know, they move a little bit too here and there. So I snugged it up a little bit this morning just to get it stretched out so it would start to dry, but it worked out pretty good. Got a little flooding from uphill under the tent. A little puddle up here, but that went away pretty fast, it looks like. And most of all, it's pretty dry, and I got a spot now. I'm going to cook breakfast and try to figure out this thing. It's supposed to have isolated showers and thunderstorms all morning, and in the afternoon it's supposed to be sunny. And I do want to move today, so move closer to the entry point and go out tomorrow is my plan. We'll see. It's kind of gray over there, pretty thick, and all the clouds are coming from that direction. Well, the gear's all packed other than the tarp. And there's some structure of the clouds, a few sunny spots. It's pretty nice. Every time you take the tent down on days like this, though, these things kind of come through. And just with the wind coming up, the temperature got cool. Hey, there's my immature loon. That's pretty cool. Let's see if this thing will zoom in on him. Oh, yeah. Parent is still feeding it a lot. Haven't seen it dive yet. Oh, I take that back. There it went. Okay, got it on camera even. Well, there is a little bit of here's a blue patch. Structure of the clouds. They're really hauling. So making the decision to go. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning. I think once this glob over here passes, I'll take the tarp down and go. Yeah, here on Hudson Lake here, as it goes up into Fire Lake, there's some old cribs filled with rocks. You can see some pile on the shoreline too. So there must have been an old logging dam here or something. Go back over here. See, I see some more pile on the shore. Interesting. Right through the narrows here. Portage landing from Hudson to Fire. Both those portage landings are quite terrible. Some of the worst you'll see around. And it doesn't help that on this side I'm fighting the wind. There's a little bay here that's just capturing this northwest wind today here and swirling it around, changing directions. It's gusty. Pretty crazy, since northwest is off toward the left right now. Still gets sucked into this bay. Kind of see it. So I'll be fighting this for a while today, I guess. Should have came up here yesterday, I guess. direction we need to go today. Just like that. On one hand, these little lakes like this, long narrow lakes, form a wind tunnel. They really are. I hope you can hear me, but they form a wind tunnel. It just focuses the wind, even if it's not in the direction you're going, and it creates this tunnel effect, and it's pretty strong. And when it gusts, it really gets kind of maddening because it keeps changing direction on you. But what I don't have that the big lakes do are the big rollers, and I sure hate those rollers, especially in the solo canoe. It's gonna be a long day. Approaching the portages. There's a series of 2 of them from Fire Lake into Bridge Lake. See, there's a lot of trees down here. Strangely, the wind's to my back, even though I'm still headed right into the wind. Like I said, it swirls around. There's a good spot on the left right there to get hung up on a rock. I cheated as close to these sticks as I can. That one was pretty close. Portage is 20 rods, so it can't be too long or too far up ahead because I can already see into the next body of water. I wonder if wind blew these down or beavers. They're strangely all leaning toward the lake, so well, there's a beaver dam. Okay, yeah, there's the portage. I see it. Right next to the beaver dam. Yes, at least somebody's already cut off all the sticks. That's kind of nice. It's not much fun to get out the saw while you're in the canoe and cut off branches. Yeah, there it is. Kind of a pretty portage, even if it is a pain. I carried the canoe over first because there's no place to set it down over here. Nothing to say that there's going to be a place to set it down on the other side, but take a chance, I guess. And on this one there was not a place to set it down either very well, so I kind of had to improvise a little bit. Just such a pretty little portage, I thought I would record it. Again, this is the first on the east side, the 20 rod. I'd say 20 is pretty accurate. Boulders and here's where I stuck the canoe up into the bushes, sitting on that log. Yeah. Boy, quite a little valley I'm in here. Pretty peaceful. Never know the wind was raging out there on the lakes. You can hear it. It's actually to my back, making me give my canoe some yaw there. Quite a place in here. This is the, I guess you'd call it the middle campsite on Bridge Lake. There's a campsite back here. I'm gonna go over here anyway just to get out of the wind behind that island, maybe, I don't know. Pretty small site, nobody in it. The site closest to Lake 4 there was taken. But yeah, big cliffs and rocks and what a neat bay. Beautiful. Pretty neat site back there. The site behind me, all rocky and stuff like this too. Well, as expected, I thought I would have to fight the wind all the way up this, and then do a couple of tough portages probably, but I'll bypass Lake 4, Lake 3, and half of Lake 2. So, and I think this is windy. Those have to be quite terrible. Plus I get to see some kind of pretty remote country here. This is the north end of the 170 rod portage between Bridge and Rifle. I didn't get any video crossing Bridge because my camera battery had died and it was just simply too windy to change it out there. It's a narrow little thing, but actually the nicest landing had all day. Sloping rock, and then there's a little flat ledge down at the bottom with some gravelly stuff on it. Just perfect. Very remote little lake. Nobody at any of these campsites. And then portage is pretty clearly followable at this point anyway. We'll see how it goes, but looks like people have been cutting trees off it, so hope for the best. Here's along the portage then, from Bridge to Rifle. The video probably won't do it any justice, but it's a big old ridge over here, big rock cliff way up there, and then what I'm walking on is an equally deep cliff down into a valley down there. Kind of reminds me of Devil's Cascade in a way, the height and the space here. And the video won't do it any justice, but yeah, it's pretty well used. I mean, there's some pretty worn up here. It's not, I don't think it's quite halfway. I just stopped to take a little video, and kind of nice up in the top of these. Kind of reminds me of the Sioux Hustler Trail too. It's kind of about like this. Well, I made it to Lake 2 on the western end near the portage. Back to Lake 1. All the campsites in Lake 2 are mostly occupied. Trying to avoid the wind after coming out of Rifle Lake, I kind of did a loop around the north side of the lake out of the wind, and then spotted this down here toward the south end. It's right near the burn area. In fact, the other end of this island is all burned, so maybe that discourages people. It's a really nice site actually. But all I got, didn't record much of the crossing. It was pretty windy. That portage, the one from Rifle back to Lake 2, was actually more difficult than the other one. It's shorter, but it's much more up and down, muddy spots, quite a few big rock climbs, you know, over knee-high rocks you got to climb up onto. It's kind of a lot of that. But so far, this site was just piled with, there's just sticks and brush laying everywhere around the fire ring. I don't know why people do that. All this stuff I pile over here was scattered pretty much evenly all over this whole area. I don't know why people do that, but cleaned that up. I got my gear set up a little bit, drying stuff out, drying my tarp, which was wet from last night, clothes on the line, and back up here is where I set up my tent. It's a ways up here, kind of a breezy spot, but it's supposed to change direction tonight, so it shouldn't be quite as windy up here. But this needed to dry out too, and it's in the kind of in the shade right now, which is sort of nice. There is a site, another campsite occupied right over there on this point right there, that somebody's in, but no sign of them yet. Hopefully no noise, that would be nice. But it's mostly pretty sunny. I got rained on pretty hard during that portage back here to Rifle to Lake 2. There are some big thunderclouds building in the sky from time to time. One went over earlier and really rained pretty hard. I got pretty much soaked, but I knew the sun was coming and it was so windy. Didn't even bother putting any rain gear on. It was all packed anyway. And this is part of the fire, Gummy Creek fire. I guess it's down, it's a ways that way. And it burned across this corner of the lake. Just, they managed to save it and not completely burn this lake like it did Lake 3 and 4 and Hudson and half of Insula. And guess what I'm having for dinner tonight? Bacon cheeseburger, hamburger helper. And I have some bacon crumble left over too. That's going in there once it's all cooked. About ready to go in the cozy. Really looking forward to it. It's been a really long day. Here I am on Lake 2. Just wrapping it up for the day. As you can see, it got very beautiful outside. Wind kind of quit, calmed down. Pretty nice, got a really nice site. Well, time to get ready to eat. I better stir that stuff too. Dinner was excellent. I got a time-lapse camera set up going over there, getting the sunset, doing something a little different. See if it works out. Kind of a hazy color around that thing tonight. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, I still got some dehydrated mandarin oranges that I've had rehydrating since I got here. I got to remember to go eat those too. Pretty full. But I wanted to go show you something kind of interesting. You know, every campsite's a little different, and you never know what you're going to find. Oops. Angle up in the bushes with my camera. Let's go this way. Anyway, that was my tent pad I just passed. There's another tent pad right here. Big open area. Pretty cool actually. Rocks and bay over here. But that isn't the cool thing I was going to show you. Or not cool thing, but odd thing. Was if we were to take a left right here, there's the latrine. Like right there in the hazel brush. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, kind of a different arrangement. One thing I was going to point out over here too, how close the fire got to the back of this campsite. Got some trees right there, and then that whole peninsula got burned. Now there's another one on the other end of this, another campsite, and that one must be non-burned too. Morning of my 8th day. About 8:30 in the morning, I've been up, packed up the tent wet, absolutely soaked with dew. Got a little chilly last night, not too bad. A little bit of fog in the morning. Packed up everything, have everything pretty much ready to shove in the pack. Got the canoe down there, ready to go, to get loaded. A little bit of breeze has come up, but I'll be out of here in 15 minutes, I hope. All my gear is sitting here just waiting to go into the pack for the most part. Great trip so far. Assume this last day won't be too bad. I just have to cross Lake 1 into a southwest wind. I don't know, that's 5 to 8 miles per hour, I suppose. It's been a lot of fun. Actually the nicest weather I've ever had on a canoe trip. And I saw some really beautiful country. I'm encouraged. Campsites like this that get really beat up, even right at the beginning of the lake too. And here is a young Norway pine growing, and then there's another one, and there's all kinds of there's a spruce next to it. There's all kinds of young jack pines growing in here too, quite thick with them actually. Someday there'll be nice trees like that one. Kind of ring this campsite again. Hopefully be able to bring it back from its kind of beat up state. So it gives me encouragement, gives me hope that this place will continue to regenerate and always be as nice as it is.